this is a very slippery slope. The left should stop this, because then you're basically saying that in the future this is going to be allowed in administrations that you do support. And as I said, the selective outrage for illegal families, when this has been going on in the Black community, no one talks about the fathers that are separated, the fathers that are behind bars, the fathers that are buried on the south side of Chicago and in Baltimore. So again, this is completely, to me, seems like fake outrage, and I don't support it whatsoever.
Candace, that's why we're going to have to leave it there. His father's program.
Yes, it was Obama's administration that sanctioned those programs.
With it just being 10 days left until Donald Trump gets inaugurated into office, there's a lot of things to consider, such as how the media is going to react to him being in office this time. They can't say all the things that they said in 2016 before he was in office, because he's already been in office. I mean, they tried in the 2024 cycle, it just didn't work out. No one is afraid anymore. The country knew that it was all lies, and now they're all in support of him, obviously. 76 million votes, 312 electorally. But what are they going to say about the administration? What are they going to say about the people that are representing the administration? What are they going to say about the women? Because we all know that they were coming against every Trump supporter woman back in 2016 and 2020, trying to call them anti-feminist. We don't know what happened to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and we're going to take a trip back to a video with Candace Owens talking to a feminist about the woman who worked for Trump and the people that affiliated themselves with him and the people that thought that he was the right person for the job and that want to implement the things that helped all Americans. And we have a woke liberal who's trying to tell Candace that they're not feminists, essentially. So before we get into that, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to RTM News to ensure to YouTube that you are enjoying these videos, and in that way they will continually show up in your feed, and then they'll push it out to more people. I'm Titus. Let's get into this video.
So between protesters attacking Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders and DHS Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, also First Lady Melania Trump getting slammed over her clothing choices, are women on the right who work for the president treated more unfairly than those on the left? Here to debate is Fox News contributor Jessica Tarlov, who is the Senior Director of Research for Bustle.com and the Communications Director for Turning Point USA, Candace Owens. Good morning, ladies. Good to have you with us.
Good morning,
Good morning.
I think we can all agree that things have gotten ugly. It has become so hateful. It's become so divisive. Candace, is there a double standard with women on the right, you think?
Of course, there's a double standard. I mean, it's incomprehensible and indefensible, and anybody with a modicum of decency will admit that what's going on here is wrong. I can't even fathom a world where Obama's daughters are threatened with pedophilia by somebody in Hollywood in the same week that someone in his administration is kicked out of a restaurant with 7 members of their family just for wanting to eat. We would never hear the end of the claims of racism. This would not be allowed whatsoever, and it should not be allowed just because this is Donald Trump's administration.
Jessica, your response?
My response is that there are two issues at play here. There's the civility issue, which is what happened here with Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And I personally don't think that she should have been thrown out of the restaurant. I think you can have a conversation with someone about the beliefs and what this administration is doing without denying them service. We don't deny service to people for immutable characteristics. We can legally on the basis of political affiliation, but I don't think it was constructive and it hurts the debate. The other side to the issue is the fact that Republican women want to be deemed feminists, and they want to have the same kind of clout as women on the left who are actually advocating for policies that help women, whereas the policies out of this administration actually hurt them, like refusing to raise.
But women that work for the president, they wouldn't say that. They would say actually the opposite. They would say that we believe in these issues and we feel like they help women.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, but the statistics don't lie. We know that if you raise the minimum wage, 2/3 of people in this country on the minimum wage are women. They need that help. We know that there is assault on.
Even if that's true, that is not a direct correlation or at least an attack on women. Raising minimum wage would help everyone who makes minimum wage. So to act as if that's a feminist policy that to be implemented and it benefits women specifically and it benefits everyone who works for minimum wage is not even a feminist argument. Just the wages should be up. If that's your argument. Interesting. And she's already trying to discredit slowly. I don't think I wouldn't have kicked Sarah Huckabee Sanders out, but also almost are justified because her positions are so anti-women. The women on the right. No, they're not. The women on the right are the ones that are like, nothing's going to hold me back. Look at Candace Owens. No, you can't stop me from being successful. As long as I'm competent, intelligent, work really hard on the things that I want to do in life. I mean, look at her now. I mean, this is 6 years ago. She's the biggest female voice in the conservative movement. I can't think of anyone bigger than her. So, but go ahead. Go on with your pity party.
Women's healthcare rights from this administration, things like that. Yeah.
Jess, please, I hate this selective feminism that we hear on the left all the time, okay? Well, don't make this a feminism issue because it's not a feminism issue.
When
you're going out and attacking women, you're not, I'm not done, okay? When you're going out and attacking women, you are not a feminist. This is not defensible whatsoever. And you sit here and you say that it's because you care about mothers. The basis of this is that people are upset that illegal immigrants are being separated from their mothers. Why don't you refocus some of that energy to the Black community? They've been having their families separated. In fact, it's subsidized in the Black community. You appreciate single motherhood. You are giving more money to families for fatherless absence. So all of this selective fake outrage when you guys do not have the same defenses for the Black community is really lost on me. And it's time's up on this altogether. I think the Black community has had enough of you guys being selectively outraged for parents of illegal immigrants, but not for the parents of the Black community who have been separated from their family for about 6 decades.
All right, and ladies,
Yeesh. Selective feminism. No one actually cares about these. I mean, maybe some people do. But the families being separated and all this stuff. It's like, if they're like Tom Holman, I wish he would have said this back then. He said, you could take the kids with them. They can all go together. They're illegals. They can go together. That would have ended the whole separating children thing that they're trying to do, as if Obama hadn't started that whole thing, the cages and whatever. It was under the Obama administration when this whole thing got started, and then they wanted to put a magnifying glass on Trump just continuing what Obama had already done. It's ridiculous. And so it's a very good point to bring up the Black community, how there was incentivized women to be single because they would get paid money from the government. You were separating Black families all the time. Your side of the political aisle was separating Black families, mothers from their children or fathers from their children, whatever, and you didn't say a word, couldn't care less. As a matter of fact, that's like a form of reparations for you. You probably, or to you, you think that's giving out reparations to the Black community. See, as long as like your husband stays away, we'll pay you. No. Candace Owens, thank you for that.
I just want to point out, ladies, I just want to point out, let's keep this civil. As I opened up this segment, there is already so much hate, indecency in this country. So let's just keep this debate a debate and keep it civil. Jessica, your response.
I believe I was keeping it civil, and then Candace told me that I wasn't a feminist. I also believe that Candace doesn't speak for the entire.
You weren't. I said the left.
Ladies,
Jessica. I said the left. I didn't say you, Jessica. So don't make it personal. I said the left. It's selective feminism on the left that we're seeing.
I disagree with you, and I'm going to do that politely. I'm going to return to my original argument, which is that we have heard this for years, that Kellyanne Conway, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and all the women who work for this president and support his agenda aren't getting their due. They're not getting their due from the feminist community because they're advocating for policies that hurt women, that keep them in a bad economic position, that don't allow them to live equally in this society.
They deny the wage.
Yes,
same for the Black women.
Same for minimum wage. That's. Can you give something else? What else is allowing them not to live equally in this society other than their own personal choices on occupation? What is it?
Fine. Do you think that Kirstjen Nielsen should be harassed because of her position and because what is going on with immigration? Do you think because of that she deserves to be treated the way that she does? She was essentially forced out of a Mexican restaurant, protesters in there. You may disagree with her, but do you think the way she's been treated is fair?
I think that what Kirstjen Nielsen did in initially coming out and lying about what this president's policy did, then having to backtrack on it, puts her in a very tenuous position.
That wasn't my question, though.
I think that people should have civil conversations about it and certainly have every right as a public official to come up to her table and to call her out on her lies and this administration's lies. If she wants to leave because of it, that's on her.
All right.
But she should be open to that dialogue with the American public who is dissatisfied.
Candace, very quickly,
this is a very slippery slope. The left should stop this because then you're basically saying that in the future, this is going to be allowed in administrations that you do support. And as I said, the selective outrage for illegal families, when this has been going on in the Black community, no one talks about the fathers that are separated, the fathers that are behind bars, the fathers that are buried on the south side of Chicago and in Baltimore. So again, this is completely, to me, seems like fake outrage, and I don't support it whatsoever.
Candace, that's why President Obama
we're going to have to leave
had his father's program.
Yes, it was
do talk
Obama's
about
administration that sanctioned those programs.
Candace and Jessica, we will leave the debate right there.
Thanks, Abby.
Have a good Sunday, both of you. Thank you so much.
Man, that girl was like, dang, moderating this is hard. But yeah, that time is so triggering because this is a point in time in our country where the left had full control of the narrative and they were spinning it every which way that made us look so bad, that characterized us in villainous ways. And like, honestly, the fact that Candace was such a force in that time period and did not bend the knee once is honestly a reason for why we can openly today have so much freedom. I mean, even Mark Zuckerberg's come out saying we're going to stop with all the censorship. Now, obviously, he's wrong for doing it to begin with. Elon Musk bought Twitter, and now we have a lot more access to saying things that we weren't able to say before. We have all these people that are, public figures that were not political that are coming out out of the woodwork to support Trump and a lot of his policies. And it's like this shift I did not see coming, but I'm so grateful. I literally thought, you're coming back, Lord. Like, it's the end times, because things are getting pretty bad. And it's so great to see that Candace's hard work and her unwillingness to bend the knee to that rhetoric that woman is spewing, that selective feminism, trying to crap on conservative Republican woman that supported Trump and knew that he was going to do good for all Americans, including women. Oh man, crazy times. Well, if you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure to comment down your thoughts below. Want to know your thoughts as usual, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.